A concerned mom, and coincidentally a parenting coach, leaves a note for 3 mean girls. And I say mean girls in quotes because that's what a lot of the people have been calling these girls on social media. The concerned mom didn't actually call them mean girls. And then she actually takes issue with that. And we'll get to that. So she was sitting at Starbucks. She overheard this conversation. This is how she reacted to the conversation. This is what the note read. So first she bought the girls a round of Starbucks. And then she left them this note. It was inside an envelope. And she bailed before the girls could read the note. So she wasn't there to witness it. But the note reads, "Hi girls, I sat near you today in Starbucks and listened as you talked. You 3 are obviously pretty and hardworking. I wish your kindness matched your pretty exteriors. I heard you talk about a girl who sang a song about being lonely in the talent show and you laughed. About a girl who couldn't be lead singer because you got all the votes. About crappy presents other people have given you. And you sounded so mean and petty. You are smart and you are pretty. It would take nothing from you to also be kind." And she blogged about the incident in a post that has already been read by thousands of people, where she wanted to talk about the people calling these girls mean girls. She wrote, "I'm uncomfortable with the phrase. Some girls behave meanly. I hate to label girls mean because that's hard to overcome. All of us have been mean and been the recipient of mean behavior." Thoughts, 5 words or less.
Can't sit with us.
Stop trying to make nice happen.
Now that's a cool mom, not like Amy Poehler character.
Yeah.
This is the cool mom.
That's the daggers.
Yeah. You know what? I actually kind of don't like this so
Why?
much. I like it in practice, but I do not like the trend that we're seeing a lot these days where when someone does something kind or good or goes out of their way to just better people around them, they have to document it and then post about it on social media. I understand that that's the world that we live in, and it's just... So I don't think that what she did was wrong, but I think that the posting about it for validation from the public is just kind of bizarre and unnecessary. And it leaves me kind of questioning, like, you're still kind of humiliating these girls in a way, even though we don't know who they are and their identities aren't known. Like, you're still in a way. You're calling out teenagers. Just, you don't need to put that on the internet. They'll have that moment.
But it is sparking a lot of conversation. In fact, she told People magazine that she's gotten thousands of comments from parents saying that they appreciate seeing that post because it has helped them to see something, say something, and have the conversation with their children, which they should have anyways.
That's what I'm saying.
But if it's motivating people to have the conversation about the weight of your words, I think that's a positive thing. But I see where you're coming from.
It's a cynicism test. That's the thing. I've said it on the show before. It's a test of your own cynicism, and I always fail these. I'm always like, shut up. Go tell the people to be nice, finish your latte, and get out of there. But at the end of that discussion, I'm against being nice. Like, I can't walk away that way and say, that was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So, it takes that extra framing of, I put the general concept of niceness above the concept of humility and, like, the Good Samaritan who just goes on their way afterwards without wanting the glory. I feel like this desire of the person to get validation, like, we should validate positive behavior. But we should not validate a quest for validation. Mm-hmm. So that's what's weird about it. But on the whole, I can't look at this and say it's terrible
agree.
Because we're not shaming any specific people. This is better than if we were doing that.
You're shaming behavior.
Shaming a kind of behavior.
I agree.
And the message, hopefully, if the only thing we can do now that it has gone big is to focus on the message over the person. And hopefully that's what the person involved would want us to do.
Right, and I agree that this has led to a larger discussion, which is important because high schoolers can be super mean. I'm sure if we were all to search ourselves, we've had instances where we've either been the recipient or we've been the one being mean, especially in high school when you're so insecure. More and more as these come up, they don't really sit well with me. But that is, you're right, it's my cynicism where more and more you can just kind of publish your good deeds on the internet.
She's also a blogger, though. She also has, and somebody told her,
people who just sit around and tell you their thoughts all day.
She was blogging about the conversation, and then on Facebook she was talking about it, and one of her, I don't know if it was a Facebook friend or one of her readers told her, I think that you should say something. And then so she followed up with them, letting them know that, thank you so much for telling me to say something. I did say something. And then that's when the letter got published. So it was a continued conversation rather than her just posting the letter.
So let's
Not
follow
to say it
through
would matter,
on what the good part of it is. The good part of it seems to be don't be mean.
Yeah.
Be nice. And I think I've been there. I was on a basketball team, and all we did was just pick on each other mercilessly. And it was so bad, and we all hated it, but we kept doing it. It is a bad cycle to be in. And if you're looking around a group at Starbucks and the only thing you're doing is talking shit about other people, let's change the tune a little bit.
Yeah.
Talk about something positive that you're into. That's not to say that you can't vent every now and then, because sometimes my best friends are there to listen to me say the worst things. And then at the end have the pivot of like, all right, I only said that because it was bubbling up after hours and days and weeks and months of not saying anything. These are the people I trust to not judge me and afterwards point out that like, okay, I think you're frustrated at something else here. Let's focus on the positive.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think it's
Last
important
thought.
to remember, kind of just piggybacking off of that, that negativity requires so much energy and just so much to vent, which feels good at the time. You really are expensing a lot of energy to do it. And so it is easier to just be positive and that if I could give my high school self advice, it would be that. It is way less energy to just be happy for other people, to be positive, and just if you're having negative feelings or you want to judge other people, it's just to
and it's addictive.
avoid it.
It's addictive, and you'll learn that it's also addictive to be empowering. So the more the more you can empower other people, I feel like the more it'll empower yourself, and you'll see that if you can flip that script, that you'll be so much happier, and likewise, people will want to be around that more so. And be the example. If you see it at school, be the example. I think this woman was the example. I applaud her. But I see where you're coming from. Please share your thoughts in the comment section below, and we will see you